Hello, 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 everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. My name is Letitia Campbell. I actually call myself the number one email marketing strategist, CEO and co-founder of the Your Brand, Your Breakthrough movement. And I'm so excited to be on with each and every one of you today. I have been in back-to-back meetings all morning long. So I feel like I sort of just rushed into this live. I'm not even set up normally how I'm supposed to be set up. But before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and just check my other device here and see if oh, yo, that sounds good. You guys see if you guys can hear. Which you guys can. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this over here. So yeah, so I sort of just, came on here because I wanted to be here on time to talk about one of my favorite topics of discussion to talk about, which is actually sales process. That is like by far one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to business. I had a great call yesterday with one of my clients, and that was one of the main things we talked about is as we start to grow our email list, as we start to build our audience, as we start to grow our following, at some point, you gotta move people forward into your process, right? But most people, and I shared this with Miyoko a couple of weeks ago, and we have an awesome treat for you guys today. But a lot of businesses don't have an actual sales process, right? They don't have to have an actual sales process, and it's costing them a lot of clients and customers. It's probably costing you right now a lot of clients and customers because you don't have an actual sales process. Years ago, I was actually watching a live stream or a video on Instagram from a young man, and he talked about how he has millions of followers, but he's broke. Right. So a lot of people assume, or you're probably assuming, that just because somebody is an influencer and they got a lot of followers, a lot of engagement, they're making a lot of money. When all reality is they're not. You know what I mean? And one of the main reasons that they're not is they don't have an actual sales process. Number one, they don't have a clear offer. Number two, they actually do not have a sales process. So I have a lot of stuff to do today, and I know you guys have a lot of stuff to do today. This month of September has been crazy busy. If you don't know, if you haven't been following my social media and Miyoko's social media particularly, but it's also my social media, the kids are back in school this month, right? Both our kids are back in school this month, and also it's busy. It's just a lot going on. And what I'm finding this month, this is the first time, I have 5 kids, and this is the first time ever that everything is compounding. Like I have 2 children in high school, 1 child in middle school, and 2 in elementary. And whenever there's a parent-teacher conference schedule, an event schedule, it's like I have to divide my time. So Miyoko asked me the other night, he was like, what is the number one challenge you have in business? I said, I need more time. I need more hours in a day. Go ahead and type in me in the chat right now if you're telling yourself, I just need more hours in a day. You know what I mean? I know I cannot sacrifice sleep because we all need sleep, especially me being a mother of 5 kids. I need to rest. I need to take my little naps. I need to sleep at night. But I just wish there was more hours in the day. You know what I mean? More hours in the day, and I would get so much, I would be able to hit so many different things. But anyway, I digress. So we're going to dive into the sales process mistakes that most of you guys are making. And also, I want to ask a question. How many of you, type in 1 in the chat if you have a sales process right now? Go ahead and type in 1 in the chat, or type in 2 in the chat if you don't have a clear sales process, right? So if you don't know what a sales process is, think of a sales process this way. Think of it as a customer/client journey. Right? From the time somebody starts following you on social media, when they first get to introduce, get to know about what you do, till the point of where they're ready to buy, right? So here's my boy Miyoko. He's coming on. Hey, oh, I like that yellow. We are matching.
Oh, ha!
Yes,
Oh,
we didn't listen. We did
that's
not.
not even on purpose.
That is not planned. I can promise you that is not planned. Okay. Yeah, that's not. I got yellow in my ears. I just felt like wearing yellow today. Yes, it's one of those days. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me good? Because I feel like your volume is low, but I know that's me. Let me just go ahead and tweak my audio here a little bit.
All right. How about now? How about now?
How about now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You're still a little low, but that's definitely me. That's definitely me because I have my headphones on.
Yeah,
So
because you're loud.
yeah. I'm just loud. Yeah, I'm just loud. Let me go and just talk so I can Hey Carla, how are you? I'm just loud. Yeah.
Hey Carla, how are
I'm just
you?
loud. Let me go and just talk so I can Okay, I think you're good. Y'all Yeah, I am kind of loud.
Hey Carla, how are you?
Because you're fine, but I'm my pitch is louder than yours. But that's fine. That's just normal. That's normal. Y'all used to that by now. My pitch is just louder. But anyway, I was just talking to the audience about how, this month has been a busy month for the both of us. Both our children started school, your daughter, my 5 kids, and what have you. And it's a lot going on. And a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we pivot away. And I've done that in the past. I'm raising my hand on that too. We pivot away from our process. We sit down, we write out a clear step process, and we pivot away. And I also shared how to those in the chat who do not have an actual sales process, and what is a sales process? I know that's always a question. Like, okay, what is a sales process, right? Most people think that, oh, my sales process is I get a lead and I just take them to my website. You know what I'm saying? Or I get an email and I just send them over to my group and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I don't consider that an actual process because in my mind, I think of process as a journey, the steps. It goes beyond the sale, right? Is what comes after the sale, what comes before the sale, what comes right in the middle of the sale. So we're going to jump into today's conversation, y'all, and just give y'all some 3 common mistakes. We're going to just dive on into it and just, kick it off from there. Anything you want to add, Miyoko?
I blame all of it on funnel brain.
Yeah.
It's funnel brain. I think people neglect the fact that there is a sales process, but the word funnel and having these funnels has been so commercialized now. Everybody's like, oh, I need a funnel. That's the first thing that I need. When they don't understand what a funnel is. Now, a funnel is it can be a step in your sales process, but it's not the sales process. So, I look forward to having this conversation today. So let's get into it.
Me too. And this is probably one of my favorite topics to talk about when it comes to business is how are we moving people along our pipeline, right? You and I talk about this all the time. We have meetings where we sometimes, even with all the marketing that you and I both do, we take that pause and say, okay, how are we moving people along our pipeline, right? So it brings us to our first point, which talks about how the first mistake that most people make is the lack of the process of skipping the relationship building stage, right? Business is, hey, Godfrey, brother, hey!
G-Man!
Hold on 1 second. StreamYard did a change, y'all. I got to keep up with all the changes now. Okay, boom. Now they want, okay, I don't like that change that they just did. Anyway, squirrel brain. Skipping, hey, Godfrey, that's another big brother. Okay, skipping the relationship building stage. Business is about relationship. You know what I'm saying? Just like social media is about being social, business is about building those relationships. And we skip that process so much. Little things like people being clear on what your pitch is, or clear on why should they buy what you have to offer, or clear on what exactly you do and how it can help them, or clear on just your overall and your dialogue on how you take people from point A to point B or point A to point Z. Those are part of building relationships, right? It's all part of building relationships. And those things are important, and getting clear on that and reiterating that and saying, just over and over and over again so people have it stuck in their head. Okay. And so before they pull out their credit card, right, or log into their PayPal or what have you, they are totally confident, okay, that you are the person that's going to help them because you have built an impactful relationship and you did not skip that relationship stage, i.e. what I said before. Some people think their sales process is, I get a follower, take them to my website. Where's the relationship? It dives into the type of people you connect with. I was speaking to a client yesterday, Miyoko, and her company now has raised has started a new line. They first was known as offering like low end products, like $5 products,
Okay.
$8 products. But now they're getting into the more of the high end and up, right? So even with that, now you have to focus on building a relationship with a different type of clientele. Because the $5 and $8 are not the same as the 1,000 and 2,000, 3,000.
Very true. Very true.
I mean, yes, you're going to get some that will go from 5 to 2 or 5 to 5,000. Yeah, you're going to get some of those, right? But most times you got to tap into a whole different audience and build a relationship with a whole different audience that you have to be ready, right, and present yourself in a different way. It's the same level of marketing, but it's a different type of approach. But what do you have to say to that, Miyoko?
I feel like
I'm getting fired up. I'm sorry.
Relationship building. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna make it very simple for everybody listening. You have to get to know your client. You have to get to know your prospect. I love everything what you said. Most of what you said is based on how we prepare ourselves. But now there's a flip side to that. You have to get to know your audience. It's that simple. It's simple, it's powerful, but it's something we overlook. So you cannot build a relationship with somebody you don't know. If you're not learning things about them, even in natural human relationships, be it romantic, being friendship, you start to get to know that person because you ask questions. You learn about them, what their interests are. A lot of people aren't connecting with their clients, or they're leaving this out in their sales process. So when they get somebody on the phone or get somebody on a call or get somebody to come to their page, there's still a disconnect there because on the page, it does not say, you know me, you know how I feel, you know what problems I'm having, you know how to solve it, and you are the person I trust to do it. Ideal audience, period. Very simple, but very, very powerful at the same time. Now, those of you, you can type 1 in the chat if you're really if you've been really focused on getting to know your ideal audience. Type a 2 in the chat if you've been more focused on what you're giving to your audience. There's a difference. We often focus a lot on what we're giving to the audience, content and things like that. But is it really showing the audience that you're trying to get to know them? That you know how they feel, that they can relate to you. Right. That's how relationships build. It's not one dimensional. It's I don't want to say transactional, but it's a flow. You tell me about yourself, I'm going to tell you about myself. It's that synergy that you have. That's a relationship.
100%.
A relationship is not one-sided. So a lot of you are doing one-sided marketing. You have a one-sided sales system. It has to go both ways. If I don't feel like you understand me, if I don't feel like you know me or you understand me, then why am I going to buy from you?
Right. Knowing and understanding. That's definitely relatable and relational in relationship building. Knowing and understanding. I hope y'all wrote that down. Because that is so important, because you can't. You really, really can't. And there's so much value in that. Speaking of value or fortune, there's so much value and fortune in what you just said. But speaking of those 2 words, we're going to get into our next point, which is not following up consistently. So I want to share a really quick.
This one gets me too.
I want to share a quick real life story. It just happened. I'm not going to mention the name. Godfrey knows who I'm talking about, though. But an individual came on one of our meetings. We have little, Zoom powwow meetings, Monday huddle. And the person said they missed out on $1 million policy. Now, we're not getting into the life insurance part, but it's just an example. And the person said they've been talking to this person for months and weeks on end, but at some point, life happened to them and they just stopped following up with the person. And just recently, they reached out to the potential client. And guess what happened, y'all? That client went to somebody else. True story. True 99 story. Now, if you was on that same Zoom, right? Right? Let me look at Godfrey. Yes, that's my problem. Not follow up. Yeah, right. But I'm definitely not talking about Godfrey. But if you guys understand the magnitude of what that does to a person, now you're going to get people that are going to tell you no. Even with the best follow-up strategy, you're going to get people that are just going to say, no, not right now. It's not the right time. That's a given, right? But when you have somebody that's a super hot lead, right? And you just all of a sudden, allow life to be life, or whatever your excuse is, because I feel like there's sort of all excuses at times, right? There's always a way. And, you can only blame yourself, right? You only blame yourself. And the result of that is that individual, even how she looked, even on the Zoom, is like she was so just down, down. That's a lot of money, y'all. And also that opportunity was going to be a referral opportunity. We talked a lot about making our clients our affiliates, right? Leading towards that. That potential policy would have led to more, leads for her. So in my personal opinion, I felt bad. I felt for her because that same thing happened to me years ago when I wasn't consistent with my follow-up or not following up at all. And I missed out on a high-level client, but we have to take that as a lesson. Not following up consistently is definitely detrimental to your business. You can miss small fish, and you can miss the big fish, as well. So I wanted to bring that part up. What do you think, Nyoko?
I feel like not following up consistently is a sign of the lack of value you put on relationships.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You have to, like for me personally, and me and you've been having conversations offline.
Right.
All you have to do is show up.
That's it.
Now, in the process, of course, you're building your brand and all these other things, developing skills, all that's important. But I'm telling you, if you show up every single day, I guarantee you will outlast everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There has not been a person that I have not met. Even some people on LinkedIn, it's so funny. And I'll be transparent. LinkedIn is probably a platform that I knew I should have been on 2 years ago. I'm active on it now. There's people There's people I've seen 2 years ago that had no followers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 100. 3 years later, they're booked into next year.
Mm.
They have $1 million businesses.
Mm.
They don't have to go chasing anybody.
Nobody. That's true.
They are turning people away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're a top voice on LinkedIn.
Right.
They visited LinkedIn headquarters. I'm not done. They visited LinkedIn headquarters in New York City.
Wow.
They had conversations with their executives because LinkedIn is moving towards more of a social platform. They're kind of combining things for influencers. I say this to say, one of the things I ask people, I said, man, how do you get to where you got? Only 1% of people post on LinkedIn first and foremost. And this is not a post. This is not a pitch for LinkedIn. But the thing is they showed up. They said, I showed up every single day. I interacted. I built relationships every single day. And by the 100th day I did this, the momentum was crazy. And I haven't stopped since. So I say that following up is showing up. Look at it that way. It's showing up.
Right.
So if you're not showing up to build relationships, if you're not showing up enough because you believe in what you're doing and that your service helps people, this is what happens. You miss out on the money. You miss out on the relationships.
That's right.
You miss a lot of different things. So you have to show up consistently. So I replace follow, show up consistently.
Show up consistently, yeah.
And I can guarantee you that this will spill into other areas of your life.
That's right.
Not just your business.
Yeah. It's that follow up and it's that follow through. We have a comment here, and I'm sorry, y'all. StreamYard changed the setting. We're bringing up the comments. It's like a preview, and then I have to post it. So Annette Manigault, yes, she said, take the initiative. I'm following up with a person from an event. Yes, from past Saturday. Yeah, that was a really good event this Saturday. We went to a line dancing event this Saturday. And let me tell you something, Yoko. Them old late, I'm gonna say, them seasoned women was dancing all night long. We couldn't keep up. But anyway, yes, you're following up with those people because again, what's today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
There's so much that can happen from the time you meet somebody and say, hey, this is what I do, to that next step of moving them forward. You know, when we say there's fortune in the follow up, there is fortune in follow. There's follow through in the follow, because we as entrepreneurs, as business people, we make a promise. It may not be verbal, but we make a promise in our business saying, hey, if we're going to help somebody do da 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 da, or we're telling people that this is we do this and that. When we follow up, it's that follow through part. It's us saying that, listen, this is my commitment. This is my follow through. This is what my promise is, you know? So that also is something that builds trust, Okay. Now let's go into this last point, y'all. Listen, Miyoko, you and I both know it's great to talk to everybody and tell the world what we do, and all that is awesome. But it's even better when you qualify people, right? When you are qualifying people, when you are like, okay, I get it. You want to lose weight, or you want to build a business, or you want to sell life insurance, or you want to, you know, whatever, you know, get out of this toxic relationship. You want to do it, right? Mm-hmm. But people can want all they want, and say, I need this. But a lot of times getting people to that next step, like you and I both know, people send me DMs. Oh, I'm going to do this today, this afternoon. It's like, okay, that was last Friday. You said that it's Wednesday now. What happened? Right? But failing to qualify leads properly. I think that's important, you know, and I find that, and I'm gonna use myself as an example. At the beginning of my business, that was something I didn't do because I felt like it took too long. It's like it took too long, because now when somebody comes through and you go through your qualification process, you know, you are literally putting, like, it's almost like when you're baking. I know you talked about cake the other day. And you're sifting flours, like you're getting rid of all the lumps, you know, and sometimes there's a lot of those versus, you know, the good flour versus the bad flour, right? So it for me, it just took too long. It's just like, okay, this person's not qualified, that person's not, you know, but again, had I done that, I would have saved a lot of time. Because what we do, especially what you and I do, is all we're in the people business, right? And more often than not, we don't want to constantly be in front of people who are not ready, or maybe us knowing in advance that they're not ready, and we could have put them in something else, so they could lead up to that readiness. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead, Miyoko.
But the thing is, I think people try to qualify their clients or their audience or their prospects based off of wants. It's like, I can say I want a piece of. I always use cheesecake. Everybody knows I love cheesecake. I may say I want a piece of cheesecake, but I'll say, yeah, probably not good for me at the moment. It's a little too late at night. Right? So I never purchase. But there's difference between somebody else that's just like, yo, I have to get a piece of cheesecake, yo. I've been craving this thing for the past 2 weeks. If I drive past that store today, I'm going in there and I'm buying me a slice. Like, you know what I'm saying? So how great is the desire? Because that's a very important factor. I'd rather work with somebody that says, Miyoko, you know, I need help with my personal brand. Don't really understand what leadership is. I'm going through these particular things. I have to work with somebody because my marriage is being strained. I'm not making as much money as I should be. And it's really affecting my mental and emotional health. And I want to be the best parent that I can be. And blah, blah. They start going down all of these emotionally connected things. That person, if I show that person my signature process and it makes sense, and it makes sense to them, and I take them from where they are now to where they really want to be, that person is going to enroll with me. No question about it. Instead of saying, you know what, I want to build my personal brand. I want to make a little bit more money. That'd be nice. Can you see the difference? Some things are nice to have, but it's not something that you feel like you have to have.
That's right.
Right. And that's how you have to qualify somebody.
Mm-hmm.
How bad do they really need it?
Mm-hmm.
And how bad, or what's the cost of them not having it? We don't market enough on the cost of not having something.
Right.
What is this costing you if you continue to go this way?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's going to cost me this, cost me that, cost me that. I need to do something now, Miyoko. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is something that I can't ignore for the next 12 months.
That's
for the next
right.
1 month, for the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now I'm qualifying based on, now everybody write this down.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to qualify people on the results they want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Qualify them based on what it's costing them if they don't get this result.
Amen.
That's
true.
I guarantee you, you'll sell tons more if you do that.
Tons more. Tons more. And we actually break that down. And, you know, Miyoko mentioned it, that signature process. We actually break that down in our signature process offer that we're going to share with you guys today. And I shared earlier that for those of you who want to learn more about how to create a sales process, you know, how to create a signature process. What do we mean by signature? Miyoko said this very well. You told me this a couple months ago. Everybody has their own unique signature, right? You go into a court of law, right? And somebody sees a contract. You say, I didn't sign that. Like, I watch Judge Judy all the time. She's like, give me your ID. There you go, get the ID, and she looks at your ID, and then, you know, because our IDs have our signature on it. She looks at the contract. She's like, no, you signed that, you know? So it's like all of us have our own unique signature, just like our own unique fingerprint that cannot be duplicated by anybody else, right? So that's what we want to help you guys to create. Go ahead.
Everybody needs a methodology. Everybody has a way of doing things. Like, so your process is so your methodology is part of your sales system.
Yep.
When people associate with you, what is your signature process? What is that thing, like taking it from where they are to where they want to be? And that's not cheesecake. But yeah, everybody needs that methodology. Everybody needs that. You have to be able to explain to your prospect, listen, this is how it works. Here's where you are right here. First step is we're going to do this. We're going to do next step is that. Next step is that. And then it's going to get you to the result that you want. Right. And I call this my signature, whatever it is. I call this my confidence, my discouragement to confidence system, my four-step system, my 5-step system, whatever it is. You gotta have a methodology that separates you from everybody else.
Right. Right. And not only is going to take you about 10 minutes to even map this out for yourself, and it's worth $7,000. Because I'm telling you guys right now, when you are mapping this out and you're executing on it and you're staying consistent with it, you're not pivoting away from it, like what I mentioned earlier, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to help a lot of people. You're going to, you know, whatever your mission is, mission over commission, mission over cash, whatever it is, you're going to definitely make it possible for you. I shared this with Miyoko before. A lot of the clients, when they first come to me, right, well, when I'm talking just to people at events, they don't have a process. Again, from lead to website, or from lead to Facebook group, or from lead to text, you know, there actually is no journey. It is no journey that's unique to their business. Okay. Most people try to do things like everybody else. Funnel, what you just said, everything you mentioned with that, like everybody else. No, you have a unique business, even though it may be similar to everybody else, but you also have a unique process. We all have a unique signature process. So I just dropped the link for you guys to go ahead and grab our signature process. This is going to absolutely help you guys out a lot. It's going to save you guys a lot of time, a lot of effort. It's going to help y'all to get clear, you know, more clear on what you need to do, and also be able to ask the questions that you need to ask to help people move along. You know, some of y'all may say, well, I have 1,000 followers. I have 5,000 followers. I have a, you know, email list that says 50,000 people. But if you're not moving them along, it's just a dead list. You know, people say, I have a Facebook group and my Facebook group is dead. Okay, that's not the members' fault, right? What are you doing to move them along? You got to move people along, or else they're just going to sit on the line. They're going to sit. And what happens when people sit on the line? They just drop off. and they drop off and they drop off, you know? And so we want you guys to grab it. I did put the link in the chat. If you don't see it, right, just go ahead and type in the link in the chat and I'll send it over to you. So you can go ahead and grab it today. Go ahead, Miyoko.
I was just going to say, I'll close with this.
Mm-hmm.
Without a methodology or without a clear process, you leave a confused prospect. They need to be 100% clear on exactly how you're going to get me there. It's not good enough for you to say, I can give you this type of result. And then I say, okay, all right, here's my money. No, I want to understand that I am able to visualize the concept of what you're taking me through. So let me give you guys an example before we close out of here. All right, first what we're going to do is we're going to activate your self-awareness. You got to understand that where you are, so we're going to work through that first, right? Because if you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else. Second, what we're going to do is we're going to assess your skills. What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that make you happy? What are you passionate about? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cultivate that. We're going to turn that into some type of product or service that you can sell and that you can offer to people. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to your ideal audience, right? Who's this product best good for? Who's it serving the best, right? Then from that, we're going to go to, all right, now you got to have an effective system to get get a number of people consistently. Generate leads. All right, once you start to make some money, all right, how do you scale this now? So then you scale it and turn it into an actual business. What I just gave you is a system, a process. So when somebody hears that, oh my God, I understand everything. Sign up.
Bam. How many y'all caught a chill? I just caught a chill just now.
Have a methodology. You have to have a methodology.
Right. 100% right. I hope y'all caught that.
Completely unrehearsed.
And the way you said it was so natural. It flowed. It just had a flow to it. And we want y'all to do the same exact thing, whether you're in front of one person or a group full of people, whether you're on a Zoom with somebody or just being on your cell phone for 15 minutes. Say, hey, let me go ahead and close this person, in the next 10 minutes. Right. You can do that if you have that type of flow that Miyoko just said. Go ahead.
Clearly articulate how do you get me from feeling this way or having this type of income or not being satisfied with this product to something that is going to get X result. You got to clearly walk them down.
Right.
Walk them down the stages.
Right. And I want to reiterate, y'all, that this is a digital asset. It's going to work short term and long term. Okay. You guys know I'm a big systems type of girl. I'm a big systems type of girl. So if you were eventually after a year or so, or even 3 months, get a huge result from this digital asset, which you will. If you ever hire a VA or if you ever hire a social media manager or somebody that's going to work your back end, this is what you're going to give them. You're going to say, hey, download this Google Doc or, whatever. And you're going to say, this is my exact process. And you're going to have meetings on it. And then when y'all get to your annual meetings or your quarterly meetings, y'all going to go right, Therese? Y'all going to go right back to that and say, hey, what do we need to change? What do we need to adjust? This is part of your business, guys. It's great to have a business plan. I know all of y'all are starting this a big, market. That's the next trend in the next 3 months. Business plan, vision board. We get it, guys, but where's the process?
Right.
I'm just saying. And I'm only saying this, y'all, because Miyoko and I talk about our process all the time. So we're not, trying to teach something that we don't talk about ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right? We get really down to the basics. Because like you said, we could want this, want that, put a bunch of pictures on a wall or, a bunch of words on a piece of paper. And those are all great. But if you don't have a flow, just like how Miyoko just articulated it so well.
You're not getting anywhere.
You're not getting nowhere. You're going in circles. And you're going to blame everybody else instead of what it is that you're not doing. Okay? So again, y'all, we're going to leave y'all to put in your commitment and your follow through right now, and make sure you grab the link. If you don't see the link in the chat, because I know it's been acting weird lately, go ahead. Yeah, right. Create your own signature process. Thank you, Therese, for putting the link. Go ahead and type the word link, and I'll send it over to you directly. Okay, if you can't click on it, because I want y'all to have this. Okay, I want y'all to have this. And when I say this right here is worth thousands of dollars, like as I'm talking, I'm like, maybe we should raise the price up. But that would come. When it is now, y'all get to grab it, okay? And make sure y'all get it today. Don't wait, don't delay, get it today. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us and watching. We look forward to making sure y'all grab that and get y'all onboarded into our signature process digital resource. And we thank y'all for hopping on. Okay. So we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Always. See
Bye,
you.
guys.